What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rise and Grind. I hope you guys had a great 4th of July weekend. Today we got some cool guests with us today. I want to thank you, Tom Jara of Wonder Washers, for being here today, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for
and
having
happy
me.
belated birthday.
Thank you so much.
July 2 is your birthday.
Yep.
Do you want? Wait, how old did you turn?
33.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's where I'm turning 34 in September.
Nice.
Slightly depressing.
Nice.
Craig Weinstock CPAs in the building. What's up, Craig?
You guys are young.
Were you?
Unbelievable.
How young are you, Craig?
I don't want to say. I did just turn 40 though.
What?
That's young.
That's
Yeah,
still
but
young.
dude,
That's very young.
How do I have more gray hair than you? Good for you. Good for you. We had a lot going on in the tax world, so I'm excited to pick your brain about it. And so real quick before we dive in, I gotta tell a quick funny story. So are you guys on TikTok ever?
Yeah.
How about you?
A
Yeah.
little bit.
I know you
I'm
are.
like, yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
TikTok.
So there's these trends going around where you screw your parents or like a parent, and like you say to them like one of the people they love the most, like you grab your phone, you're like, oh, Elvis Presley dead at 55, whatever. Just say some random person. So we got my mother-in-law last night, and Jacqueline said Madonna died, and she like
Aw, I've
Yeah.
seen that trend. That's hilarious.
But the point of why I bring that up is like right now we're seeing on social media more than ever, like social media is like 95. Like before, I think it was like a 60-40, but now it's like a 90 to 95% people want to be entertained on social media. They're laughing about you pranking your parents.
Mhm.
They want to see people fighting and arguing. They want to see crazy shit happening. And, in a way they want to be educated, but not the old way, right? Like the conventional way. Like they want to be entertained, right? So I saw that all over TikTok and I was like, Jack, let's get your mom. And we got her. It was actually really funny.
Was Madonna the top pick, or did you have to go through?
I said to Jack, I'm like, who do you think would be the person to make her be like, like, and she was like, Madonna. I was like, all right, we did it. And she was like, no.
Oh,
And it
I've
was
seen
like-
some where the parent is actually like hysterically crying, and it's
Oh,
like,
wow,
no,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
this person.
How long did you have her going for?
It was quick, man. Jacqueline's not a good liar. So Jack started it. And I think from start to finish was maybe like 45 seconds. Because her mom was like, and Jacqueline kept laughing. And I was like, dude, you gave it away.
Oh my god,
She gave it away. But nonetheless, again, I bring that up because again, right now, like for content creators and businesses, like we have to get creative. That's why, like, when you're thinking about content you're putting out there, like, and obviously, Craig, you're in the studio today, so we should think about that when we're creating some content for you. But it's like, you have to create content that people are going to resonate and be entertained by. It's not anymore about like, I remember when I first started doing content, like almost like 10 years ago, when we hired our first videographer to like follow us around. It was more like Gary V lifestyle shit where you're like, all right, I'm going to a meeting in New York. I'm going here. I'm going there. And like those like flexes don't matter anymore. People don't give a fuck if you're in a car going to New York or if you're in a meeting in New York City or if you're doing this. Like they want to laugh. They want to laugh. They want to like look at entertaining crap. So it's like that's what we have to do. And it's so funny that like social media has now become like a new TV.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny. I never really watched TV like since I started my business. But now more than ever, like if Jacqueline has TV on, like when we're relaxing, I will be on TikTok, just fucking scrolling.
Same.
And I hate to say that. Like when my kids are down, when I'm like either working or with my children and my wife, like I'm not on anything. But like when I'm like able to just like chill, I fucking hate to admit this, but like I'm just scrolling on fucking TikTok.
Yeah.
Because Instagram is where you go. Instagram and Facebook is kind of where you go to see people right? What's fucking Weinstock up to over here? Donating his time, typical. Like, and then when I go to TikTok, I don't know nobody. You know what I mean? Like I'm just scrolling and looking through random people's lives.
It's all for you.
It's easy for me too because as an accountant, you think funny, entertaining. Those are the first two things.
100%. 100%. And that's why Craig changed the game. Once we put him on.
But that's a great point, though, to be funny and entertaining as a CPA. I mean, you don't see that on Instagram ever.
It's non-existent.
No, it's really, really dry. So if you're like that, then you're going to stand out.
By the way, I want the record to show that it's taken me. How long have I known you?
Oh God.
Like it's got to be almost 10
years. Yeah.
Right? At least a decade.
Yeah.
Like legitimate decade. Like it's taken me probably 9.5 years to get Craig to actually be on camera. like legitimately. And now you're doing fucking phenomenal, by the way. I will give you that credit. But the first time, I remember the first time that I came to film in the office almost 10 years ago, and you were just laughing like, why am I doing this?
What do I do with my hand?
Right.
I don't know.
He's like, why am I doing this, John? This is stupid. Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, all that to say, like the world is changing, and obviously, like, have you guys seen a lot of those AI generated videos, like from VO?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different videos out there now, and it's crazy because like you'll sit there, and on TikTok before, like I probably would see like I'll scroll on TikTok probably max for like 2 minutes, like every time I'm on it. I'd probably see like 10 to 15 different like pieces of content that were AI. Now, like I'm seeing a ton. And before, like they were super interesting. Like I would scroll and I would see like POV you waking up in the Roman Empire as like a peasant, right? And like in the middle, like whatever, like in the middle of the city, like and like the guy's feet's like dirty and he's like in a hut and he wakes up and I'm like, damn, this is interesting, right? And then now it's like this whole prompt theory thing. You guys see that? So essentially, it's like them saying like they're trying to distinguish that the fact the future is going to be like we're not going to know the difference between like if what's a prompt and what's not, essentially. And so anyway, but like all this AI generated content is being put out, like, and it's all fake. And the thing is like I said this to my team, like the cool part about AI where we can like change the game for content and same with small business owners is how you can put yourself into it, right? So like if you have like, for instance, for you, if you have like scaling a fucking roof and then like up there power washing because you have AI be like superimpose me like Spider-Man crawling up with a power washer on my back and I'm just like hopping from roof to roof doing it or like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can make things creative and cool like that now. And like that's where we have to do it where like people like if you're not in it, you remove the whole point of people wanting to watch it. Right. Like,
and if anybody has any great ideas for tax people to create stuff, I'm all ears on that.
Well,
because that is like
right now we actually have Newberry working on one for you.
Yeah, a few for you. She showcased last week.
We have all of our team members doing that right now where they're showcasing some cool shit like that. Because like picture this, remember when Blockbuster, right? This is before like Megan and Emily were born, but like when Blockbuster was like a thing. Do you remember when they dropped late fees? And like everyone went crazy because my late fee bill was racked. Like my dad hated me during those periods. And anyway, when they dropped it, there was this commercial where it was like showed like no joke, probably like 1,000 people running down a block, right? Like no more late fees running into a Blockbuster store. I'm like, dude, that commercial probably costed like over $1 million back in like the late 90s when that came out. And now like you can do that with AI and superimpose you. So like we're working on that with you right now where it's tax season and people are chasing you. And that's what we're working on. So don't worry, we got you covered. But anyway, with that said though, like this is where we have to get creative with leveraging AI. And by the way, like we're going to put out a piece of content this week about it. But I was working on something over the weekend and I was like, all right, AI, like I want you to create this cool adapting social image, like in this graphic, right? And it knows a ton about me. For the past 2 years, I've fed so much AI content about adapting social, about me, all that stuff. And it took me probably like 45 minutes to an hour to get it perfect. And that was the whole point is like, it's a collaborative effort. Like AI is not just like, hey, go do a Wonder Washers post for me. It's not going to be what you want it to be unless you keep feeding it. Right. And as a designer or as a creative, you have to keep giving it the tweaks and then eventually it'll make it. But my only point though is that like at the end of the day, we're just like in a world now where with AI, like it's not there yet, even remotely close. Like it's so far. People are like, oh, I'm just gonna plug in like write me a business plan and it'll be done, right? Or look at my taxes, it's done, right? Like, and it's not how it works. But what I will say though is you're in a good business though because you're in a business that can't be fucked with by AI.
Oh yeah,
you know,
unless I get a Tesla robot and throw them on. I mean, that'd be pretty nice. But
but I think we're very far from that.
Yeah, too far from that right now.
We're too far from that. You're like, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people. Like I said this a couple months back, but I was like, you know, I've asked AI like ChatGPT for like attorney advice, right? Like, and most white collar segments like are the ones going to be disrupted, right? Like instead of reaching out to your CPA, you can ask ChatGPT, what is XXXYZ? and get the answers you want, right? Same thing with like an attorney, same thing with, you know, a lot of different
a
industries.
doctor even.
A doctor, right?
Yeah,
I
were
said
you doing that with your blood work.
100%. I said to when I was on our live stream, when I got that blood work done a couple months ago, I put in my results to ChatGPT. I printed out like the results. Input it into ChatGPT. I go, if you were me, what would you ask my doctor? Also, what would you do? Blah, blah, blah. Went to my doctor, like had this stuff that I want to ask him on the paper. And he was like, essentially like, what the fuck? He's like, I feel like I'm having a conversation with a colleague, like based on the questions and like what I knew based on what ChatGPT gave me. Anyway, it's like, the bottom line is that like you still need, the one thing I want to err on the caution of being on the side of like, I also was on air and I said to you last time, I was like, I went and asked ChatGPT to do this like NDA for me instead of going to my attorney.
Sure do.
And you're like, John,
I was like,
no,
don't do that, right? Check it.
And I'm like, no, it's fine.
Check it, you know,
it's fine, right? But there's a lot of people that are coming out into like the news now that like they went to an attorney or they did a CPA thing, and they were getting fucked because they did it and they didn't have somebody who like reviewed
looked at it. Yeah.
Right. So like, don't do that, guys.
Yeah.
Definitely hire Craig or your attorney. But so I wanted to bring you on, Tom, outside of it. So for people like, what the hell is Wonder Washers? You know, give us a little bit of a high level. I want to feature you for a sec.
So Wonder Washers is a residential and commercial exterior cleaning business. We do everything from roofs, gutters, your house, your business, your windows, inside, outside.
Right.
We go in on everything. I use ChatGPT actually a lot with my business, trying to help write posts a little bit. If I can't think of something, gives me ideas, you know, topics, stuff like that. I'm pretty big into the social media too, with like Instagram is a big one for me, doing reels and stuff. And I use drone footage. I put it around the properties, take care of it, everything like that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's got to be so satisfying to see the before and after in your business too. That's what I would come to your page for. Just seeing.
You know what's funny? So we were at Anthony Battle. Shout out to Anthony's networking event, and I saw him, and I think you did when I moved in. You came to my house.
Yeah.
Right.
We did your roof.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw him at the event, and honestly, it's funny because somebody referred me to you because they came to my house. Like, I can't get on a roof this high, so like I need to get next to the other person. And then you came, and we didn't really interact too much. Right. So I was like, I think I know you. And we're at the event, and then we wound up finding out like he was the dude who did the work at my house.
Oh my gosh, what a small world.
Yeah.
And he goes, he's like, "Are you the guy that has the G-Wagon?"
Yeah.
I was like, I did, yeah.
Wow.
And anyway,
yeah,
but you hooked it up though, because I remember where I am, like I'm right next to wooded property. And so like I get crushed with all that. What was it on my roof? Like algae or something?
Leocapsomagma.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the proper name for it. Takes a long time to learn how to say it.
I bet.
It took me at least 2 years.
It sounds like a college like fraternity, Leo Kappa Maga.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I want to say though, and I want to shout you out this for, is we had a ton. So like I got a ton of different people that I was like looking into initially, where I was like, all right, like because people like, you got to replace the roof because it looked like shit, man. Like it had those, and I'm an OCD aesthetic crazy MFer. Like, and so when I saw that on the roof, I was like, oh, this is killing me. Every day, like when I would leave my house, look at my house, and I saw that, I was like, this is going to be the death of me. And I had these crazy quotes that were like, people like, oh, we'll come up there, we got to replace your roof, or like, we'll do this one wash thing. And you were by far like the best price, but also the most professional. Like people came out, they gave us quotes. They were just dickheads, you know, and it was just not cool. I didn't like anybody that I met. And it just felt like the one thing that I liked about you, and I learned this early on when I started adapting in 2008, was like this one dude said this to me. He goes, what I like about your pricing and how you present yourself is like, you're not trying to get rich off of me. Right. And the way you will get rich off of me is you do a good job, you give me a good price, and we'll talk about you.
Exactly.
And so shout out to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I love the truck. The truck all wrapped up. The gear looked cool. You had it all blue with all water shit on you and stuff in your team. So that was really cool. But I appreciated that. So anyway, so if anybody has those things, their roofs or power washing, I highly recommend Tom. I used them. And it was cool that we met that way at Anthony's thing.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I was only one employee, one truck, and I was working with them. And now I'm 4 employees and 3 trucks and a hot water trailer.
Let's go.
We're cooking.
That's a lot of growth in just a few years.
Thank you, Emily.
That's
I can't leave home without Em. Thank you, Em. That's fucking awesome. I was actually, so that's one of the things I want to ask you. So like, what are you seeing out there, like in the world of people spending money, right? So like you're going to people's homes, and like when I met you 2 years ago, how long were you in business since that? When you started?
I think I was about a year in, maybe about a year and a half in when we
Okay.
met.
So you started in
It's 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from 22 to today, like, are you seeing people like at least in the home improvement sector, are you seeing people spend money like the way they were?
Yeah,
or like,
I mean, it's to an extent. Usually with our business, it's very busy March to May. June it rolls over. It's pretty busy, and like July we kind of die down a little bit. Everyone's going on vacation,
Right.
so there's like all those normal slow times.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, people are spending money. It's just you got to create value for the business, because any $100 guy can go over there with like a DeWalt power washer in the back of his pickup truck and say, hey, I can do this. But like, the proper training, the knowledge, the equipment, to an extent,
right?
You got to take care of it.
Right. Love it. And then Mr. Weinstock, how you doing?
Doing good.
I like it. I like it, Craig. So, all right, Craig, like I said earlier, I've known Craig for a decade. You started your firm in 2020?
2020 COVID
Let's
year.
go. Yeah, we had a meeting in my backyard. Remember that?
I do remember that.
That was
Oh my God.
that was the mastermind meeting, right? But so for people out there right now, like, what are you seeing in the world of small businesses and stuff, and the people you're working with? Like, are you seeing businesses like do well right now? Like, what has been like, I guess, like kind of like what you're seeing over the past 2 years, I guess, like where people are going? Are people growing? Are they kind of holding steady? Like, because obviously we went from the Biden economy, now we're in a Trump economy. Like, are you seeing what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, last 5 years, the economy has been great. I mean, you've seen the stock market; it's just kind of going straight up right now. So everything is great from that perspective. But I don't necessarily focus on that, right? I'm more on the business consulting side of things. So I am seeing these businesses do good, but when I get plugged in, it's more about understanding your numbers, how to lower your taxes, things of that sort. So I kind of come in like a silent business partner to business owners and just make sure they're paying the least amount of taxes possible. Their books are always up to date and they're compliant. They're filing their returns on time and making those payments that they should be making.
100%. And I love that. And that's one thing, obviously, Craig knows once tax season comes, we're trying to lower that bill, right? We're trying to lower that bill, and then we got to call Craig. But
it's funny that you say that, John, but I just want to say something to business owners out there, anybody. The time to actually do that is before the end of the year, right? Anything that we could do before the end of the year that we can implement those strategies then will turn over for when you do make those payments in April when it is tax time. So definitely want to get with me before the end of the year if you're trying to save money.
So like now's a good time to start planning for
Great
the end
time
of the year.
for sure. Yeah. So we usually do 2 planning and projection meetings every year, usually one over the summer, which is like pretty much right now, where we say, okay, here's half of the year of data. Here's approximately where you stand, and here's what you could do to minimize your taxes moving forward. We give you the strategies to do that. And we also have that same meeting November, December time, when we have more data in there and we can get an accurate read on kind of where you're at. But yeah, definitely the planning before the end of the year is a way to go.
Love it. And it makes sense because obviously, if at the end of the year, which I'm sure you have a ton of people who do this, or you've had people that do this, where they wait and you can't be strategic.
So I'm essentially handcuffed. You come to me in, February, March, April, when it's time to file your taxes, whatever happened in that previous year, I'm kind of stuck as to what happened. There's nothing I can implement for you at that time. I can only help you for the next year. We could file your taxes, which is great. And if that's what you need, we'll certainly do that for you. But, for the planning and the minimizing of your taxes before the end of the year, for sure.
Love it.
That's good to know.
Love it. Let's dive into some topics here.
All right.
We'll incorporate you guys with.
Let's talk about quick update on TikTok, because that deadline is coming to an end. And they say that they have a buyer, but there's also now rumor that there's another US-based TikTok app being built called M2 that's going to be released in September. And then users will have until March to download it. And then TikTok will actually be phased completely out. So really interesting. But they're saying that it's kind of like a dupe of TikTok, not exactly an extension of TikTok, which is kind of interesting. So
Which I mean,
different
listen,
algorithm, different content,
Their-
also
their
different
algorithm,
platform.
Their algorithm is what makes them special.
Yeah, but also it's like same thing. Like all of these content creators that were on TikTok making a living, you're still going to have to switch platforms
Right,
come September. TikTok is not going to be the platform for you. So take your content, put it on Instagram, put it on YouTube Shorts, and then save it so it can go on M2 when it releases.
Yeah, it's so interesting though when you really think about it. It's like when you look at what the extension, because like we said, Trump knows that TikTok was a big help with his Gen Z and younger millennial population in getting into office. And so he's like, he keeps extending it, right? And it's funny because the clear indicator of that is he has his own social media platform called True Social.
Yeah.
Right. So like, why would you like want another one to keep around unless
which
you knew
like didn't really go anywhere? Do you guys use Truth Social?
I didn't even know about
like
that.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't. I use TikTok all the time. I use it to make some of my videos, like TikTok and CapCut.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I only knew about it only because obviously we're in social media. So like,
but it didn't go anywhere. Like there was a big announcement of it.
Well, there's still a lot of people on it.
Really?
But it's a highly it's heavy Republican people because that's obviously Trump's platform, and then you have the like curious, liberals and Democrats that are on there and stuff too. So
is it all like political conversations on there?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't ever go on it. I just downloaded it initially, and then from time to time when there's like a huge update, like I know like Trump will post it on there. So if I'm like, all right, I want to see what the president just said, like I go on there just to look. But anytime I'm on there, my feed is purely like political stuff.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Do you guys use X?
No.
Yeah.
That's Twitter or was Twitter.
It was Twitter.
Yeah. That's another platform that totally changed.
Yeah. It's heavily
taken over.
It's crazy how much it's still heavily used though. Like people use it so heavy. I just don't. It's about like movie stars, political things, like, and it's just like I don't know. It's not my thing.
Yeah, a lot of pop culture.
Yeah.
X actually is changing. They're going to be the first platform to start charging ads based on size digitally, which like you haven't seen. So like if you launch an ad on Facebook or a retargeting ad, you pay a flat fee cost per click, but it could be all variations of sizes. And now X is making it kind of like a newspaper, like how you have to pay for the size.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Trying to get as much money as they can out of
I know.
out of their ad buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk about the tax reform?
Yeah. Craig, you ready?
Well, so it was just July 4th weekend.
Yeah, it did just drop. It did for your defense. But how do you think people should prepare though? Like, what are you thinking? What are you seeing?
I'm not seeing a whole lot of change, materially, like we saw when Trump first came in with his original tax cut, with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. That you saw a massive swing for small businesses. That was huge. This is really just keeping that in place.
It's more like maintaining.
Yeah, it's more maintaining. Exactly. You're not going to see massive tax changes unless you're getting with somebody like me or another CPA that's doing a plan for you and making sure you're structured correctly to pay the least amount of taxes possible. But yeah, I mean, much of what I saw for small businesses was not going to be too material.
All right. So because it was okay. So essentially what he already put in place for small business is just going to stay the same or close to it. And that was the benefit, because if that went away, the tax change would have swung for small businesses in a bad direction.
Correct. Yeah. At least from what I read so far, which was very minimal.
But do we know what the taxes would have been for SMBs?
Like, what do you mean?
Like if this didn't pass, like what would have the?
I mean, it would have went back to what it was, pre Trump era before the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. So you're looking at a good $20,000-$30,000 higher for people making $500,000 a year essentially. So it was great that this got put into place. Great that it got extended. The things that I'm kind of looking at or hoping to see more of is more of the bonus depreciation things that, are those going to get extended, increased, things like that, which I haven't seen yet, but those will be the things I'll be concentrating on when I do dive in and look into it.
Got it. Got it. All right. What else we got?
We have Elon Musk political pivot.
Yeah, did you guys see that?
Users.
No.
So I saw this on TikTok, and then I went and did more research and went on X, because that's obviously Elon has his own social platform, X, obviously Twitter,
Yeah.
that he bought, and then obviously Trump has his own. But because of how Trump rolled out this whole big beautiful bill, whatever the hell it's called, Elon is completely against him now, and Elon wants to start his own political party called the America Party. So like no like Republican Democrat, like he wants
This
to
is
call
amazing.
it.
Like you can't make this
He
stuff up.
wants to call it the American Party, and he's in the process apparently of creating his own party.
Wow.
So it's just it's interesting.
He
Though.
really did you see his post on X? about
Yeah, oh
Trump?
my gosh.
He was going did you guys
He was
see
going
it?
in.
No.
He was going off
In.
on Trump. Just like I'm surprised he didn't get sued, honestly.
I
for some
know.
of the stuff that he was saying. Like
Yeah.
him and Trump, I guess, got into a little
Oh wow.
tiff and they decided to take it to social media.
Yeah.
And eventually it got deleted. And then he had to go on and say, like, I deeply regret what I posted about
Yeah.
President Trump. But it was like, oh my God, you were posting crazy stuff
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah. Mom and dad were fighting publicly,
Oh yeah.
but
Yep. And then so that only happened a few weeks ago. And now this, where
And
you're
now,
saying
right,
he's doing
now-
his own.
right. And then Trump apparently is like threatening Elon with like, hey, we're gonna pull your government contracts if you keep this up. So it's very interesting to see like where that all goes. But nonetheless, it's just so crazy. The times we're living in right now are absolute bananas. Because when you think about it, before social media was as big as it was, like if there was a political candidate who was annoyed, he would have to go on some sort of like TV network or put out like a thing in the paper and be like, I'm starting my own, reform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like you can just go on social media and be like, I'm starting my own political party, or like drop some crazy news about politics or whatever. And like then millions of people saw it. Like I think the one that he put up, I think there was like over 110 million people saw that he wants to start his own political party. Like 110 million. Like in what world would that ever have been possible?
And
previous to
organically,
this?
right? Like he's not
That's
paying
what
for a
I'm saying.
campaign.
Yeah.
He's not,
It's
that's crazy.
literally insane.
That's wild.
So
That's really
so
interesting.
this just reminded me of this though, because for Elon, right? Like if I had my own social media platform like X, like I would make it so that if I posted something, every single user has to see it, right? Do you guys remember Tom from MySpace?
Yep.
How he was always in our DMs, like before we knew what DMs were.
Yeah.
Like hey, I'm Tom. Welcome to blah blah blah, and he would always like put stuff in there. It's like, but Tom got famous because he was in every single person inbox.
This is a
Like-
really good segue into one of my topics, actually.
I love it.
This is
Now, but for real though, did you have a MySpace?
No.
You what?
I'm not
I
a
need an
big social
opposite
media
hype.
person.
I need an opposite hype button. You didn't have a MySpace?
No.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember who was in your top 8?
No, it
Neither
was
do
always
I.
getting switched around. We were always fighting until high school. stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you're not in my top 12, 8, whatever anymore.
I just remember people getting so pissed off because they weren't in like you're like I remember me having a conversation with friends like, yo, why am I not in your top 4? Like I thought we were cool, right? Like
yeah.
again, this is before Megan and Emily were born.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. That was
I'm like,
like,
for real though.
And then Facebook came, but they didn't have any top friends or anything.
No, that's when it all
No.
changed.
no.
Yeah.
It was a lot different. But similar to Tom being in the DMs, luxury brands are now sliding into people's DMs as another form of engagement. So you have brands like Louis Vuitton
Weinstock
and Dior,
CPA.
Weinstock
Mhm.
CPA sliding into
luxury.
DMs. But basically, they're finding it really difficult for consumers to connect with brands lately because it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to go see the products that these brands put out, and that's it. So now what they're doing is engaging with the people that comment and like a lot of their content and try to start conversations with them and add personality to the page as opposed to just being a purse page, right? Because that's
Mhm.
really what a lot of these luxury brands are. So different engagement.
Speaking of that,
Start sliding into people's DMs.
And is AI doing that for them, or are those
So-
actual humans that are reaching out?
There are
No,
so
it's
the
probably
initial
combo.
the initial start I would say is a human, but Meta just released last week that they're doing AI responses through DMs now. So you can set it up where you start it and then AI essentially takes over from there. It's in beta, so when it's available to you, we'll take a look at it for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Super
Well,
cool.
Last week we were talking about this, but speaking of DMs, like there was this person, and apparently this has happened a lot, but that I went to high school with in the past, but she was like helping Bernie Sanders politically. Like she was a part of his like campaign trail or whatever she was doing. And so she went in and she was on Tinder and like all these different apps, and she would message people saying like, do you feel the burn? Vote for Bernie Sanders on Tinder. And it just reminds me like, Craig, we got to do a campaign for you.
You got to do the burn.
No, not the same slogan.
Oh, all right.
Gonna find people on
But we
Tinder?
should put
On
your,
Tinder.
we got to get your
What's your
Feeling
We
lonely?
gotta
Need
get-
your taxes done?
better call Craig. But could you imagine like that? Because we were talking about like what are creative ways to get in front of new people that you've never worked with, and it's like that's so outside the box when you think about it. Because she was trying to help him like Bernie Sanders win, but it's like imagine businesses like we just have a picture of Craig, right? And then it's just like your profile, all this stuff like that, and then it's just like somebody hits you up and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" You're like, "I got you on taxes." like we gotta like, would you ever do that? How would Mrs. Weinstock feel about that?
I'd have to see what that looks like. I'm
Oh,
open. I'm
no.
open to anything.
You're-
I'm open to
I don't know
Like-
if your market's on it, but
Yeah. Could you imagine just like your wife's friends are just like, why is Craig on Tinder?
You work for our business.
Oh,
we should put all of our
He's
guys
paying
on
the
there.
bills, Linda.
Yeah.
He's paying the bills.
Men can clean for you.
There you
You
go.
know?
yeah, the
That'd work.
profile would be so funny. You could have so much
Oh,
fun
yeah.
with it.
Oh my god.
There needs to be a Tinder for businesses, though,
There
like a
should.
networking Tinder
Get
of
on it,
like who
Tinder.
you want to
Yeah.
pass or connect with.
Right.
We need to make that. All right. Want to talk about Sam Altman, Bridging Caution? and
Yeah.
Innovation?
So what I thought was interesting is like, the one of the founders and the guy who's running ChatGPT was saying how he's like, do not fully trust ChatGPT, the new models, because they have like hallucination feature, that a bug that they're working through. So like when you're asking certain things, like you're not getting 100% accurate information always. And I thought that was interesting. And when you hear that from the person who's actually running it and operating it, it's like, okay, because a lot of Gen Zs and millennials use it for life advice, they use it for, different types of content, idea and creation, like you were saying you do. And when you hear that, it's like, oh, damn. Like, so you got to err on the side of caution of like, everything it's telling you is not 100% accurate. And I've caught it actually in the beginning, and I catch it now sometimes where it'll tell me something and I'll be like, like, let me go look this up. And then I'll look it up further and I'll be like, no, this actually was this. And it'll just say, oh, sorry about that.
Mhm.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to know everything.
Yeah.
What
But
the
it's
hell?
really just looking at what's on the internet and trying to pull pieces together, and then it's like, here it is. But it could
Right.
be pulling. Think about how much stuff is out there on the internet. It's not all
Totally.
right.
Totally. So
Yeah.
anyway, so you can't fully trust it. It's like I keep saying this, it's still not perfect in a lot of ways. So you have to guide it. You have to like check it. You have to make sure it's saying the right things.
Mhm.
It's just nowhere near where like I guess people thought it would be right now. But luckily, like you got to be smart enough to make sure you're on top of it though. So
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I have one last topic, but I don't know. You guys definitely don't watch Love Island, do you?
I don't.
I'm pretty sure my wife does.
Jacqueline
Have you
just
seen
started
it?
watching it.
It is
So-
trending like crazy across social media platforms right now.
Uh-huh.
Even like some bars are opening it up to, how they
Like
would
Love
normally
Island
do
previews
like
and stuff.
sports games. Like they're doing like
Really?
Love Island like on all of the sports like TVs.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So really interesting. But a lot of brands are taking what's going on in the show and making it their own. So right now in the show, there's like plan your dream date. So businesses are being like, my dream date would be, and then they're saying like, I would go and get my taxes done with Craig, or I would go and like get my house power washed or whatever
Right.
it is. But they're finding a way to make it unique to them. And
Right.
it's so relevant that as soon as you hear the audio is trending in itself. So it's great to use.
Emily, we're gonna do it for Craig today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wait
let's
for that.
find a way to incorporate that. Seriously, it's trending so much, and the fact that it's just so relevant, I think, is going to help get a ton of engagement. So, I know it's silly because not a lot of people are like, Love Island. I don't want to be associated with that, but a lot of people are watching it.
I don't understand it. Jacqueline just started watching it, and so like it's in the background sometimes, and I'm like at home when they're working at night when the kids are down, and I'm just like watching the show. Like, have you seen have you watched like the background of it and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. Here and there.
Yeah, and that's so like it's in the background. I'm like, I don't know. I just like I don't get it fully.
There's here, I'll pull this up and cast this. So there was a clip where this woman was trying to tell the guy, like, I'm a mom, like I'm a mommy. And he was like, mom of what? Like, what do you mean? He was like, Mamacita. And she's like, no, I'm mom. He's like, mom of what, dog? She's like, no, I'm a mom. And so that clip has gone viral, and a lot of brands are now taking it. And
I've seen that on TikTok. So that's what it's
what it's from. Like, I'm a mom, mamacita. So, and this
that's
is
actually
like,
really funny.
you know, like brands like Heinz, like what are they going to do with it? But they actually ended up, and I'll show you guys really quick, like they put all of their products on, and just with like, I'm a mom, mommy, and like things that go with it, just to be relevant. And it got a ton. This post actually of theirs went viral as well, and it's something
Craig,
so
we're nailing
simple.
this today,
It
Craig.
looks like it was made with clip art, but it's relevant. So
So I didn't realize that was from that thing.
yeah, that's Love
That's
Island.
so funny.
Mhm.
But also, quick side note. So like the one thing I was doing, so I watched like 5 seconds of it, and I watched where like apparently like they get to like, I don't know what the hell it's called, where they can like leave their current like people that they're like dating and
Mhm.
go, like go explore other people.
Yeah.
And there was one couple that stayed, Jeremiah and I forget the other girl's name. Huda, yeah.
Mhm.
Back there. Oh, Emily, goddamn. There we go. And so I said, Jack, I was like, yo, it's so interesting that like everyone else is like, I'm out. And these two were like, no, we're working together. And, or we're staying together or whatever. And so I was like, damn, like that's interesting. And then I started like trying to find Jeremiah and I couldn't really find him. Then I looked up her name because it's very unique.
Mhm.
And she has 1.2 million followers. And this just came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like this whole like this season, right? Like when did this season come out?
Yeah, very
So in 3 or 4 weeks, she has 1.2 million. We gotta get you on Love Island, Craig. It's strictly business, though. It's strictly business. Tell the wife this is about business.
That'd be
But
so
1.2
funny.
million followers in that short of a time span.
I know, it's crazy.
That's
It's-
insane. I'm gonna have to go on Love Island.
It's
For
crazy.
that
People want to
followers.
just hire you because you were the CPA on Love Island.
There you
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
No, true. That's what I'm saying.
Keeping everyone in balance, just
And then every time Craig is like having like a quick like love encounter conversation, he's just like, how's your filing looking? How's your tax? But anyway, but like honestly, I feel like that's so cool though, because like I don't know another show that has gotten people that many followers that fast. Like people go on
The
shows.
Circle. Have you seen The Circle?
No.
That's
seen that.
another really good one. And the same thing where the people who are on it, all of a sudden they blow up on social media. It's
Wow.
crazy.
What's the circle about? Is
The
it about love
Circle-
too?
No, The Circle is really interesting. Actually, it's basically you have to interact with everyone in different rooms completely through chat. And it's like how you're perceived, and then you have to vote other people out. So
Oh, so I could be on the circle. It's not like
you
love.
could, yeah. Oh, you should
Uh-oh.
watch it. You would be really good on The Circle.
It's
I
not
think.
about love.
It's not about love.
It's not about making out
I
in
mean,
bathing suits all day.
They do flirt a little bit with each other, but you're having too much fun with this.
Because I'm just picturing Craig on fucking Love Island.
Yeah.
We got to get him on. We got to not for those reasons, for CPA reasons.
Oh my
but
gosh.
but anyway, so interestingly enough, one of the things a few years back I was thinking about, I was like, damn, like I wish, because like there's no real business shows anymore outside of Shark Tank
yeah.
that are like popular, and there used to be a bunch of them. Like there's just a bunch of them. Anyway, so it's like now, like what can you do to blow up your business outside of creating your own content? Obviously, there's no more shows like that. So that's why it's interesting that like these people went on Love Island, have 1.2 million followers now. Now for the remainder of their lives, they're going to be known and have that many followers and can leverage that for business opportunities, press opportunities, make money off of it. And so it's like, damn, like if you're single and like your career ain't going the way you want it to go, try to get on Love Island. like try to get on a show.
There
believe it or not.
was we actually used to work with them. Remember it was a restaurant that Jeff had brought in way back when that did like Indian food, but
Yeah.
their
The
chef
Clove 12?
Clove 12, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
chef the young guy.
I can't remember what his name was,
Yeah.
but he just went on Next Level Chef and made it to like the top 5.
Oh, wow.
And he was always a really well-known chef, but now even more so, people are trying to get in with him, trying to go to the restaurant that he's working with. And Clove 12 was a smaller restaurant for years and years
Right.
and years. And now,
Right.
because he went on that show, he's just
Right.
blown up, and business has blown up for him too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Get on a show.
Get on, find a
We'll
show.
just have to wait till they launch the accountant and advisor show and the power washing show.
Yeah.
That's how that happens, right?
All right, before so is that all we got
Yeah,
here?
that's it.
All right, so before we pop off, guys, Tom, where can people find you? Plug yourself.
You could type in Wonder Washers NJ on Instagram, or you can just type in Wonder Washers on Google, Facebook. We're all over the place. TikTok too. Now TikTok's the Wonder Man Handyman. That's my original company
Got it.
from where it stemmed from. So we're still Wonder Man Handyman on TikTok, but you can follow us on all those platforms.
Cool. And Mr. Weinstock, how about you?
WeinstockCPA.com. And I'm on all the social media platforms.
And you probably see Craig's face everywhere because you're all over the place now. Those ads are running everywhere. I think in Washington, D.C., they're even seeing your ads right now. Like, is this guy running for office? All right, guys. Happy Monday. I hope you crush your week. Tom and Craig, appreciate you guys being here. And guys, go give them a follow. Go check them out. Again, like Craig said, if you're trying to get those taxes done, get your stuff together now, not last minute. And if you want your house power washed and looking sexy, gotta call Tom. All right, guys. Happy Monday. We'll see you back next week.